Hey gamers, Coach Avery here, and in today's lesson I'm going to give you an overview on farming for items and contesting objectives, and how to know when to do one over the other. By the end of this workout, you'll be able to discern your team's current position and whether to prioritize farming or taking objectives. To warm up, we're going to start with something easy and see how quickly you can push a wave with your favorite champion while missing as few minions as possible, and repeat this 3 times. Doing this is important as having lane priority can help easily net you objectives while also not missing out on any minions. One of the more important early objectives is tower platings and first tower gold. Getting these early on can help you push you to your first item, which will give you a nice lead in the early game. This means prioritizing plates and pushing for the first tower can be a nice early bonus to you and your team. Early into the game, farming and staying in lane for pressure is usually more important than roaming for objectives. The only exception is support, as leaving your lane and helping your jungler can give your ADC solo experience, tower plating gold, while also helping to secure any early objectives like Void Grubs or Rift Herald. Go into the practice tool and see how long it would take you to get your first plate uncontested, and then compare it to when there's an enemy bot. Next, we're going to cover when you're ahead versus when you're behind and how that applies. When you're playing from behind, this means your team is currently losing the game. When playing in these situations, generally your main priority will always be to farm. The reason behind this is that even if you do go to contest an objective, like Dragon or Herald, if the enemy team shows up, not only will you all die because of the gold and item deficit, but you'll also lose the objective when you could have just let them have it and focus on farming for XP and your core items to try and close the gap between your teams. When ahead, it's important to snowball your lead and pressure as many objectives as you can as quickly as possible to prevent the enemy team from farming and potentially outscaling you in the late game. You want to close out the game ASAP, so pushing for 4 dragons and the Elder can quickly net you the victory. In a custom game, freeze the wave for as long as you can in front of your tower, as this is optimal for you. When they're doing objective, this will make your enemy laner lose as much as possible for helping with the objective. A very good objective call during the mid or late game is when you catch someone out right before an objective spawns, especially the jungler. Without the jungler, the enemy team without smite will most likely give up the objective as they can't secure it, especially in a 4v5 situation. So if there's a strong objective like Dragon or even Baron later in the game, and you make an important pick off the enemy team, going for one of those that are up becomes a very clear and easy decision to make. Even if it's not the jungler, being in a 4v5 situation puts your team in a massive advantage, which can help you secure a one fight or the objective, possibly even both. In the practice tool, go and push a wave to tower and then rotate to mid, which can be a good practice later in the game as you want to not overextend and group for potential fights. Then push the mid wave and rotate to a different lane. While rotating, be sure to ward one of the objectives that are up on the way, as a good macro will go hand in hand with getting picks and objectives. Now that we learned all the tips we can to secure objectives and understand when to farm, it's time to take this into a real match. Queue up a normal game playing either top, mid, or ADC, and do your best to achieve at least 150 CS around the 20-minute mark or so, while also helping to successfully secure at least 2 objectives this game. I hope that everyone today learned a little bit more about decision making and all of the factors that go into them, whether it's to farm and scale or get those objectives. Make sure to use this newfound knowledge to shot call your next game to a victory. My name is Coach Avery. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the Rift.